I've always been excited about being able to work in a space where we can be planning to deliver positive impact in the future for future generations. So being involved in the training centre is one of the most extraordinary opportunities to be able to do that.
What we're trying to do is create a suite of technologies and bottleneck breaking technologies that will enable us to redesign how farming's done. I've always been passionate about training and developing those in my lab, the careers of those in my lab, but increasingly you start to come to a point in your life where you realise you're impacting only a few. How do you have a bigger impact on the whole sector? And that's where you have to think a bit differently.
An organisation like this brings together like-minded people who want to be part of that space of innovating and creating value and positive outcomes for society in terms of the crop industries and agriculture.
We've got the convergence of all the global problems, right? We've got a population of 9 billion, we've got all the pressing needs in food security, we've just seen massive spikes in food prices, in grain. So we've got these massive set of global challenges. The next challenge was Australia as a whole is facing climate change, incredibly variable yields, the floods we've seen this year preceded by record-long droughts the preceding years.
I think the most important thing about this is just the need in Australia, like this skill set that we're trying to teach, the capacity we're trying to build is just so badly needed.
The final piece in the puzzle for the need for a training centre in future crops is that the sector itself was calling for it. The sector itself needed generational change, it needed new technologies and new ideas, and by skilling a whole generation of people who can A, develop those technologies and drive the research, and B, then go off and deploy that for the rest of their careers, wherever they end up in academia or industry or policy.
Now we got the opportunity to exploit that basic knowledge from model crop species to applied plant crop improvement. And this way it's really very exciting to work with the industry as well as with the universities.
I think another interesting part about the project is thinking not just about whether people will buy it or not, but the complexities associated with those decisions. And in particular, starting to think upfront in a collaborative way about who is likely to be the customer, whether that be the consumer downstream or the farmer who might be willing to grow the crop, and working collaboratively and through co-design on what that might look like, even from the very beginning of the scientific work. It's no use making something if no one's going to be willing to grow it or no one's going to be able to eat it.
We have so many amazing tools to be able to do that, and new tools that we didn't have previously that mean that we can do it faster, more efficiently, more accurately, more successfully.
The technologies we're developing go from nanoparticles that go into plants, with chemists designing the nanoparticles, then physiologists looking at the plants in the field. The technologies go from gene editing and CRISPR and RNA and all the cool stuff you've heard around COVID vaccines, but from an agricultural perspective.
I think the vision of this center is really very exciting because I think in the next 5 years we should be able to understand the function of very critical traits of interest, and in this way I think it's good for farmers. It's good for researchers.
We can now do things that we just dreamt of 10 years ago.
Within the training centre, we are actually able to build that community because we're engaging across so many areas like education, helping with skills training, working with industry, connecting with government, bringing in researchers that work on so many different diverse things. So that type of structure is the type of structure that is really powerful in relation to solving those sort of massive challenges.
The science is exciting, the science is cutting edge, the science is bringing forward the best of synthetic biology, the best of biochemistry, molecular biology, cell biology, but packaged together around real world problems for farmers and growers and breeders. So you'll go from this lab, literally here, out into the field and be working along and seeing your plants going in the field. You're going to get training that no one else is going to get in this country. And the research institutes we partner with internationally are the best in the world.